Paulo Coelho's acclaimed book The Alchemist, the young shepherd boy Santiago undertakes a quest around to traverse the world in order to find treasure and personal legend. Ultimately, as he draws to the end of his journey, he discovers his treasure was right there where he started. He recognized his trek across the world filled him with wisdom and a great deal of knowledge, owing to the people he met along the way. The journey has not been a waste of time, for he has gained much from his experience in search of his treasure. I wish to remind you that contained within every effort, every step, and every so-called failure draws you closer to your treasure, your pot of gold. Nothing is wasted, no effort has been in vain. The best book I've read on fear is The Flinch. Now, what is the flinch? The flinch is our real opponent. It is behind every unfulfilled life. It's an instinct that tells us to run. It's a moment of tension that happens in the body and the brain and stops everything cold. Most people have been trained to ignore the flinch, refuse the challenges, and to turn back. The flinch is there to support the status quo. It whispers in our ears so that we miss a good idea that requires a lot of change. The problem with the flinch is that it is based in a brain that wants to protect us. It sees shadows as threats. When you see children playing in the park, they are fearless. And when they fall down, they get back up, dust themselves off, and continue like nothing happened. The flinch is about going back to the time when we brushed ourselves off when we got kicked out. Kids learn through trial and error. This curiosity is why kids touch burners. They want to know how things work. They are interested and not spoiled by the flinch. It's simple and it works for understanding our environment. They test their environment and stop when it hurts. The scars are medals they've earned, not deformities they need to hide. They use the scars and pain to learn and grow, to get more bolder and confident. For a while, these kids think they can do anything. On the other hand, some kids become observers. They want to touch the burners, but when their parents say no, they stop cold. They take their word for it, so in the end, there were no consequences and nothing has been learned at all. No scars, no lessons. Over time, these kids become more careful. Instead of climbing trees, they watch other kids climbing. Did your parents' fears become your fears? You see, behind every undiscovered flinch is a lesson. If you do everything your parents' way, you never discover the truth. You never get the lessons you need. But there's a problem. As you learn to fall down and get scars, the pain repels you and you start fearing and predicting pain. You combine it with the lessons you learn from other people, and finally you start to protect yourself from things that haven't even happened. Most adults end up in this position. Ask yourself, would your childhood self be proud of you or embarrassed? You see the finish line, yet it looks so far, and you think you're not strong enough to do it. You're right, because you fear the pain before it even happens and you avoid it. Yet you're missing something, and that is that the path itself changes you. You're weak because you haven't stepped on the path. When you take the path, a process begins. See it like this. You're in a corridor with hundreds of doors. The flinch will send fearful emotions to you to block you from opening the doors. Every flinch is a door you can open with a new scar and a new lesson. The flinch will block you, but once you open the door, the threat vanishes. When you face your flinches, you will feel strong emotions of pride and happiness. You will feel alive. There is nothing more amazing than moments when true willpower shines through the bullshit of fear, scarcity, false limitations, and mental noise. Start seeing fear as an indicator of success. But don't be foolish. A fear of getting into a fight with a guy with a knife is not the same as a fear of approaching a girl. The emotions may feel the same, yet the consequences of doing it are totally different. Recognize the difference between a flinch and a dangerous situation. Thanks for watching.